Learning a foreign language involves various aspects, all of which are important in planning and preparing materials for lessons. I propose to consider the country aspect in teaching the English language. Country studies is a direction that includes language learning on one hand and provides specific information about the country of the language being studied on the other. Nikita, tell us about the goals of country studies.
Of course, the main goal of country studies is to ensure communicative competence in intercultural communication, primarily through adequate perception of the interlocutor's speech and understanding of the original texts. When studying a foreign language, students encounter a whole range of facts related not only to vocabulary, grammar and stylistics, but also to the social, everyday and historical sphere of the country which language they are studying. The leading task of country studies is the study of language units that most vividly reflect the national characteristics of the culture of the language speakers. Realities, designations of objects and phenomena which are present in one country's culture and are absent in another. Connotative vocabulary, words that coincide in basic meaning but differ in cultural and historical associations. Background vocabulary, designations of objects and phenomena that have analogues in comparable cultures but differ in national peculiarities of functioning, forms and purposes of objects.
Correct use or understanding of certain words or phrases sometimes requires knowledge of their origin, situations in which they can be used, or elementary information from the history, literature, and political reality of the country of the language being studied. Linguistic and country studies are also used in teaching English to increase students' motivation to learn the language. Students become familiar with the realities of the country where the language is spoken, gain additional knowledge in the fields of geography, education, and culture. Materials are used for immersion. Materials are used for immersing students in the language environment.
The process involves familiarizing students with the foreign culture and the way of life of countries such as the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada and Australia. The content of cultural materials contains a certain novelty, whether it be general information about educational institutions, the state structure, various organizations in the countries of the language being studied, or the peculiarities of speech, behavior and etiquette.
This is why we have prioritized the country component in our tasks. On the second slide of our presentation, we have prepared a series of tasks related to the text describing one of the most beautiful landmarks in London. The first task is designed for the teacher to assess the general knowledge of their student. The second task involves working with the text, a fairly typical but effective. The third task, which is home assignment, involves preparing material similar to sample text.
On the third slide, we have prepared a task that involves oral analysis of the text and subsequently given answers to the exercises 1, 2 and 3. This text is dedicated to the 7 most famous British dishes. It is medium-sized but filled with new useful words. After reading the text, the teacher may give students a few minutes to prepare the answers independently or in small groups, or ask them to provide answers to the questions, even if they cannot answer everything correctly on the spot, in order to later check the correct answers.
Those who believe that our tasks prioritize the presence of the country studies component. Don't overwhelm students too much, and give the teachers the opportunity to adjust their tasks to their teaching style. Thanks for your attention.